There are moments when the thing you think gives you comfort ends up being the very thing that destroys your peace. You tell yourself you can stop whenever you want, but somehow you keep falling deeper. You wake up every morning filled with guilt, wondering how something so small could take so much from you. That's exactly what happened to me, until the night I finally broke down and decided to take my life back. If you don't fully understand this, watch today's story to the end. I promise. This story can change your life. I used to think I was in control, that I could stop whenever I wanted. But that was a lie I kept telling myself over and over again. Until one day I realized I wasn't the master anymore. I was the slave. It started small, harmless even. One night of curiosity. One quick glance at something online that promised pleasure, escape, and comfort. I told myself it was normal. Everybody does it. Just once, and I'll move on. But once became twice. Twice became every night. And every night became a secret I couldn't let anyone know about. At first, it made me feel alive. But slowly, it started to kill something inside me. My focus, my motivation, my peace. I became a ghost in my own life, pretending to smile while something inside me kept whispering, "You're dirty, you're weak, you'll never stop." I began hiding from people. I stopped going out with friends. I ignored calls. I'd lock myself in my room at night and tell myself, "This is the last time." But it never was. Every time I tried to stop, the temptation felt even stronger. It wasn't just a habit anymore. It was like a chain around my soul. And the more I gave in, the emptier I felt. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to. I was doing it because I didn't know how not to. There were mornings I'd wake up and feel disgusted. I'd stare at myself in the mirror and see someone I didn't recognize. Someone tired, someone ashamed, someone addicted, and no one around me knew. On the outside, I looked fine. But inside, I was drowning. One night, I remember sitting in the dark, phone in my hand, my chest heavy. My heart felt like it was begging me to stop. I dropped the phone and whispered to myself, "What have I become?" That night, I didn't touch anything. I just sat there and cried. I wasn't crying because I lost control. I was crying because I realized I had already lost myself. That was my breaking point. I didn't want to live like that anymore. I didn't want to keep hiding behind pleasure that only brought pain. So I made a decision. Not an easy one, but a necessary one. I wanted my life back. The next morning, I deleted everything. Every app, every video, every reminder of that world. I threw away anything that triggered me. But deleting wasn't enough. The urges didn't just disappear. They screamed louder. My body fought me. My mind tried to trick me. The first week felt like war, but I kept fighting. I realized that you can't overcome an addiction by hating yourself. You overcome it by understanding yourself. I started asking, why do I run to this every time? Sometimes the answer was loneliness, sometimes it was stress, sometimes I just felt empty. So I began to fill those empty spaces with something better. I started reading, I went outside more. I talked to people, I prayed, I worked out. I wrote down how I felt instead of running from it. Every time I resisted, it hurt. But every time I resisted, I grew stronger. I began to see that the habit was never about lust. It was about pain, about escaping what I didn't want to face. And when I finally faced it, the power it had over me began to fade. But it wasn't a straight path. I fell. A few times I gave in again. And every time I did, guilt hit harder than before. But instead of hating myself, I stood back up. I told myself, you failed today, but you're still fighting. Because failure isn't falling. It's refusing to rise again. Weeks turned into months. and something changed inside me. The urges came less often. The guilt slowly faded. I began to feel proud of myself again. I could look in the mirror and smile, not because I was perfect, but because I was free. I noticed I had more energy, more confidence. My mind was clear. My goals started to matter again. I started dreaming again. For the first time in years, I could look at myself and not feel shame. That's when I realized the truth. Masturbation wasn't my biggest enemy. My biggest enemy was the emptiness I tried to fill with it. Once I started filling that emptiness with purpose, the need to escape disappeared. So if you're listening right now and you feel trapped like I was, I want you to know something. You're not disgusting. You're not weak. You're not hopeless. You're just human. And humans can heal. You can start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There isn't one. Delete what tempts you. Build new routines. Talk to someone you trust. Pray if you believe. Learn to sit with your emotions instead of running from them. Every day you fight back, you become stronger than the day before. Freedom isn't about never feeling tempted. It's about not letting temptation control you. It's about taking your power back. It's about realizing your body isn't your enemy. It's your vessel for purpose. I won't lie to you. It's hard. Some days you'll feel like giving up. Some nights you'll fail. But if you keep fighting, even through the tears, even through the guilt, one day you'll wake up and realize you're free. And that freedom, that peace, is worth every battle. Because in the end, the real victory isn't when your hands stop moving. It's when your heart starts healing.